Great. Let's talk about how data in the world and how data has changed. First of all, everybody is a data-driven company, whether you are a small store with your on-stock inventory or a large-scale over the internet retailer. And the enterprise that does not manage, govern, and keep up with data and the changes that happen will not be successful in this ever-changing economy. Um, and then Dharmesh, so what are your thoughts on being a data-driven company?
Great question, Scott. Um, let me go about talking about certain facts and certain numbers and some sort of predictions that people have been making around data. So first, like we need to create a right importance for why are we even talking about it. There has been an exponential data growth year over year. We all know that like every year we are exponentially increasing our data size. The collection of data is happening at all the aspects of the life. Even people have estimated that we will cross around like 175 zettabytes. It's kind of a very strange unit we need to think about in future, but we will be crossing about 175 zettabytes just in next 2 to 3 years, so 3 to 4 years kind of time period. Another interesting fact is that we have not utilized the value of that data that we are generating. We are like estimates are that we are only using 45% of data for making any useful value out of it, which is strange considering the amount of data available to us. So it kind of defines that we really need to do something about it. Even while we are increasing the size of this data, the government and the regulators are still struggling how to resolve different kind of policies, privacies, come up with the right guidelines so that most of the organizations can have a little bit control on the sensitive data and the personal data. There is a big question about data quality, which kind of creates a little bit of uncertainty about the correctness and the quality of data, which creates this kind of a untrustworthy environment so far. So this lack of validation undermines the value that you can generate out of this data for within your organization. Another interesting fact that it is not only challenges that we are facing right now about the data or kind of estimating the challenges. There's a prediction that if we don't get onto this data bandwagon, we'll be left behind. More than 80% of organizations are expected to jump onto this data wagon and create solutions which can kind of provide democratized way of accessing data. That means that people will be enabling their organizations to do self-service data-driven solutions around that. So like this is our current situation. Let's talk about the reality, what is going on right now. Any database solutions, any data thing that you're working on today has to go through your IT data team. Right now, all of your data is kind of controlled and very much limited by your IT team. So you need to, in order to access any of the data, whether even for a small analytical analysis exercise that somebody needs to make, or some experimentation sub needs to make, they have to submit a formal request into the IT, and then IT need to process it. IT need to create solution around giving that access to the to that particular person making a request. It kind of creates a kind of a restrictive environment, and it kind of diminishes the whole value of data democratization. So the effort needs to be there in order to create a data culture or data ops culture, which kind of allows ad hoc experimentation, real good and easy access to any of the power users within an organization without waiting through the bureaucratic process of accessing the data. So this is where we need to go in and talk about like how do we change or alter this structure that we have in order to create a data-driven culture or a data-driven organization, make our organization kind of go towards an optimized data-driven decision-making status.
So Dharmesh, again, what is your definition of a data-driven organization?
Great question, Scott. The data-driven organization, I kind of consider it as a part of in three aspects: recognize and respect, use of data, and managing the data. It's important that until and unless we recognize that the data is one of the most important thing that is available within your organization, we won't be able to give it enough importance and enough respect. And once we kind of treat that data important, we are going to create a culture around the data. We are going to create a culture of making decisions around data. And not only some decisions, we are talking about most of the decisions or all decisions, which will be data-driven. In a data-driven organization, there's no politics involved in decisions. There's no hunches or intuitions. This is all about a decision backed up by data. Whether it is like a decision made by somebody at higher up in the chain or lower up in the organization, all of those things are backed up by data, so there is no question about the value or the validity of the decision that you are making. It's also important that we kind of have a control on uses of the data. It is important that we create management solutions, or we create a data infrastructure which provides the confidence of using the data by ensuring the consistency in the data, by ensuring the accuracy of the data.